welcome to MonoRants the Boys, the only boys podcast making this crappy intro joke one last time. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and with me is my co-host and master of none, Clara.
For the very last time.
Yeah, well,
until next year.
Well, until Vought Rising comes out.
Yeah.
But even with that,
it is kind
it's
of
still
like sad.
Final. Yeah, there's a finality here. Yeah, it's the end of the main show.
Yeah.
And no.
Well, I watched next. It does have a touch of like
you said, Vought Rising is coming, and it'll probably be next year. But it's not like with Gen V where we were like, there'll be more of the main show.
Yay! No, this is
the end of the main show.
Yeah.
And one last wrap to look back at season 5, and we'll probably talk other
most
seasons and stuff as well.
Yeah, the entire show.
But yeah, so it's finally over after 7 years on TV, across 7 years.
Yeah.
5 years of us podcasting about it. We reached the end of the main storyline, and I am pretty happy with it overall.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I wasn't mad at how it ended. I was quite happy with everybody's endings. A few more people could have died, just in general.
Well, yeah, that was something I thought, and I do have a list of deaths to go through as well.
Oh, okay.
But like we said that we would do, we'll talk some predictions first, I think.
Yeah, because I have a feeling that I got a lot of shit right.
You
in general, being like...
Yeah, I went back and listened to our raps and listened out for predictions and stuff, and we'll talk about some of our predictions
I definitely got the deep right.
Yeah, see what we got right and use it as a lens to view season 5, and then we'll talk, highlights and lowlights and all that sort of stuff. One of the big predictions that we had all kind of said, like me, you, and Anna when she was on as well, first in season 3, was we really thought that it was going to be Homelander dead by the end of season 4, and season 5 would just be Butcher as the bad guy. That was one that we talked about for a good while.
Yeah.
And instead we got like a hot second of Butcher as the main villain of the series.
Yeah.
I still think it would have been nice.
It had a touch of Demon Dean. He was nowhere near as demon-y as Demon Dean would be. Like, he wasn't anywhere near as evilly Butcher as evil Butcher can butcher.
Just because there wasn't enough time for it.
Yeah. 8 fucking episode seasons are... shitty.
Well, that was something else that we had said that we wanted.
Longer seasons.
Just 10 episodes? We said it in the season 3 wrap.
Just throw us 2 more episodes.
Yeah, we said that in the season 3 wrap, and then when we didn't get it in season 4, we said it in the season 4 wrap.
Yeah.
Especially in the final season.
Just 2 more episodes. There's not enough time, and I think that's where a lot of like final seasons of shows have been going wrong lately. Is there's not enough time to adequately wrap up stuff.
Well, 2 extra episodes would definitely help, but if you've only got 8 episodes, don't be wasting time on stuff either. I suppose.
Yeah, because there was at least one episode in this season where I was like, this is unnecessary.
Maybe not, if not episodes, certainly parts of episodes.
Yeah, I was like, this could have been an email.
But that said, I still would have wanted more of villainous Butcher.
Yeah.
It is the final arc of the comics, spoiler. I think if you've listened to us, you have a rough outline of the comics or have read them already anyway. But yeah, it's the final arc of the comics, and given that they did it,
like give
us just a little bit more,
Yeah,
even if Homelander had died at the end of episode 7.
With him killing his dad.
Yes.
They did start off strong, and then him, number one, he's getting the gang back together because he needs to get Frenchie out.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Every season of the show is them getting back together and Huey not really wanting Butcher there.
Yeah.
Except for season 4 where Huey's the only one who wants Butcher there, but it's still about Butcher versus the rest of the boys.
Yeah. Reluctantly dragging them all back together. Well, in this case, breaking them out.
But there is always that push and pull, and I kind of, even that Homelander didn't die in season 4 like we thought he might, they still could have had Butcher as the villain while Homelander was still alive. Because they kind of set that up at the end of season 4 with him stealing the virus off the rest of them, like he was going to go on his own mad run. So they could have maybe kept them apart for a bit longer, and we could have gotten villain Butcher that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted more villain Butcher, I suppose.
Yeah, because them setting the virus out in the Teenage Kicks mansion.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like the most villainy he gets until his big end. I put it in the water tank, mwahaha.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Frenchie must have been watching Constantine.
He's pretty, yes. He's pretty shitty towards Ryan.
Yeah.
Like, he's pretty fucking heartless towards Ryan when he tells him the plan of wanting him to hit Homelander with the virus.
Yeah.
But just that pure, like, what we got at the very end of the last episode. yeah, maybe if Homelander had died at the end of episode 7.
Yeah, we could have gotten
even
a bit
episode
more
8 was just all Butcher was the bad guy.
Yeah, episode 8 starts where halfway through episode 8 starts.
Yeah, like at least
that.
I suppose.
Well, that would also
we did get that much. You know, and it wasn't erased entirely.
That means Frenchie would have died way sooner.
Well, that's something we will definitely talk about later on, I think.
Yeah.
Something else that we got wrong was somebody had suggested Homelander might become president, and we sort of poo-pooed the idea. But no, it was...
Yeah, we got
he went, Homelander. Yeah, and then, well, not exactly, but then he went beyond.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
God.
But he was president in all but name because Calhoun was absolutely just a puppet.
And then Ashley was barely there.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, we got that one wrong. But I did still enjoy the amassing of power that they had done.
I'm just pissed that we never got the soups flying above the White House.
Yeah, it would have been...
There's a couple of panels that I'm like, just give me the fucking panel.
Well, they gave us that in the
promo
promo material.
And then in front of all, because that was a big thing, I think it was us, we spoke about it maybe going worldwide because a lot of...
There was pictures of him like outside the Taj Mahal and
outside Westminster.
Eiffel Tower and that sort of stuff, yeah.
Because, it would 100% make sense that Vought was international.
Well, yeah, and
that Vought controlled the superhero trade worldwide.
Yeah.
Like, other countries are as rich as America. Other countries
also
have superhero...
we said it, that when he declares himself God, it was kind of weird because he's just the God of America.
Yeah.
And they don't really address it beyond saying that the Saudis are going to lose their shit and that's why they need the pipeline.
Yeah.
And in a way, I'm kind of glad that they didn't go super global because then it just opens a whole can of worms of what is this country reacting like or what is this country, and they don't have time for that. But they could have maybe done a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like, considering he's like, I'm God now.
Yeah.
Why is he limiting himself to just the God of America?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand as well them not going like global. Not with only the 8 episodes that they did have. Because yeah, like you said, even 2 more. Yeah. And I think that was something that we have said for a long time. Just 2
more would just give some things time to breathe.
Like I think I even said it in the season 1 wrap that I was like, I've always wanted more. Like, however more they will give me, I will take it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it should be a 22 episode season thing.
No, it doesn't have to be that.
But just give us a bit more than that.
Because then you can do the big flashy pieces as well. They don't have to feel like they're kind of not shoehorned in, but they're not given kind of the afterthought.
Yeah.
Like, it's very much do the thing, move on, do the thing, move on. Like, even everything with, like, Annie running away and coming back, it's just kind of very quickly dealt with.
Yeah.
Like, even in the end of season 4, the whole shifter thing is dealt with very quickly.
Yeah, and just moved on from. I guess
which then we see...
Cursory mention...
Then we see that it's very clearly not moved on for Huey.
Only when he's being infected by the rage virus.
But it's still there, though. Like, there is, like, it has to have something to feed off of.
That said, they did do an awful lot of character stuff this season.
Yeah.
So I had looked back at some of the stuff that Kripke had said in interviews in advance of season 5, and he did say they weren't going for full apocalypse on screen.
Yeah.
That they did want to have it be more character based. So in that sense, he didn't promise us global destruction or anything. But yeah, if there was that little bit more time, we could get those few bit more beats in as well. Because
I feel like we didn't get nearly enough time in LA.
That episode was one of the ones I particularly enjoyed, and that bit in particular was one of I'll hold on to that for a while. Actually, something else that we kind of half right, half wrong was I thought that the people who died in the comics might be the ones who lived, and vice versa.
Yeah.
On the boys' side, with the exception of Butcher, because Butcher was always going to die. Homelander was always going to die, and Butcher was always going to die.
Everyone else is kind of.
But I had kind of thought that they might kill either Huey or Annie, and that we might get to save Frenchie, and the female.
By about season 3, it was like, if dies, I'm going to riot.
Yeah, as it wore on, that was basically, I think, just hopeful thinking or wishful thinking on my part, because
to survive.
I really wanted to survive. I couldn't go through it in the comics and in this.
I needed him to have that ending.
Yes.
I needed him.
Yeah, no, he needed
happy.
to have the happy ending. Yes, absolutely.
That. And the fact that Ryan's involved with that as well, I'm so delighted.
Yeah,
for
more than any other other character,
MM and Ryan.
So, and Ryan, absolutely deserve it. Not that Huey or Annie didn't, just they don't die in the comics.
No.
They survive.
Yeah.
MM dies in the comics, along with Frenchie and the female, and all three of them are heartbreaking. We've talked about it before. And that MM survives, I was delighted with. Obviously, Annie and Huey survived, so I kind of got that wrong. Frenchie did die, but I really didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, that was also something.
You can have a whole discussion on how you assassinate a character.
We talked about it in season 3.
We talked about it so much. Like, we
weren't quite...
I was so ready for him to die this season that I was like, yeah, just get it over and done with.
In season 3, we were just pissed off with the fact that little Nina told us that he killed kids.
Yeah.
And we were like, that was unnecessary. We already knew he was a contract killer, and we already knew he was responsible for
and that he was
getting
quite
Mallory's
brutal. Grandkids killed. Yeah. That was enough.
But he before little Nina ever showed up, he told us about killing people that he had done in the past. Like, it was one of the early interactions he has with Huey.
Yeah.
Is recounting the first person he killed.
Yeah.
And you could see...
it's after Huey's kill Translucian. Lucy.
Yeah. And you could see he carries the guilt with him.
Yeah.
And then you find out about the Mallory's grandkids thing, and that was enough that Frenchie had killed people and had been somewhat responsible for the death of children.
Yeah.
That was enough. Then little Nina shows up and it's like, he killed kids too.
Like, he's also, you get it when they're hiding out with the Latin Kings.
Yeah.
He's a gun runner.
We knew he was a gun runner.
He's involved in all of this underworld stuff. Yeah. Like, he's not a good person.
Yeah, so
he's got a really hot life partner person.
Cherie.
Thank you for Cherie.
She was great. It's a shame we didn't get to see her in season 5, but I'm just going to assume she's still off.
I would love to have just seen her walk behind in the cafe in Marseille.
That would have been fun, actually.
Just in the background somewhere, and if you caught her, there she was.
Yeah. So that was one thing where, we was kind of half right about the deaths and half wrong about the deaths. And Frenchie, by the time season 4 happened,
gonna care.
As well as discussed in season 4 and the season 4 wrap, and probably mentioned a good bit in this season. We don't care for Frenchie anymore.
No.
Kill him.
Enjoyed him immensely season 1.
Season 1, 2 and 3.
And
great.
Then they just...
Even bits of season 4 and bits of the season here, I did enjoy him.
They really did just fucking...
Like, there was nothing...
the character, didn't they?
There was nothing in this season that made it particularly bad, because I suppose they were trying to set up him dying, and how tragic it was going to be, because him and Kimiko had finally got together.
The him and Kimiko angle, though. I was like, it's very overwrought.
Well, yeah, but that was just to set up the fact that he was going to die, and it was going to be... we...
I just love the way he's children.
We had decided early on in season 4 that Frenchie, possibly even in season 3, but definitely by season 4, we had decided Frenchie was going to die. So it was never a surprise to us.
No, we just were waiting on the day.
And what they did with his character meant we didn't particularly care. However, that was something that Anna had mentioned, I think, in season 3, that she was actually hoping for, like, a major character death then, because we had talked a lot about, at the time, disagreeing with keeping A-Train alive. Now I'm happy they did.
Yeah.
But at the time,
I would have been happy if A-Train had been replaced.
Yeah, if they had left him there on the ground in Hero Gasm,
brought in,
after Hero Gasm, after having killed Blue Hawk, we had said we would have been happy with that. And at the time we would have, because we wouldn't have known what we would have missed out on. I'm glad what they did with Reggie,
especially
in season 4 and 5. Well, the short bit that he was in season 5.
Yeah. Well, like, if they had left A-Train dead, that could have been a great opener for a place on the 7 for Gen V.
Yeah.
Because, they do have the bit about Thingy going up to the 7, but that could have been an additional storyline where we could have seen Soups actually doing something. Because I still have...
What, for Gen V?
For Gen V. I wanted to see them, like, in classes and doing... I know we got the bit where he ripped the arms off the Amazing Steve. But,
no, there wasn't enough of that. That was actually something you said last season as well, was that you didn't want Gen V season 3.
Yeah.
You thought it was done, and that any wrapping up that needed to be done would be done in season 5.
Yeah.
Whereas come season 5, you are now saying that, it's a bit of a shame that we didn't, given how season 5 ended, it's a bit of a shame that we're not going to get season...
so much of season 4 had been about the virus, and they're going to get this virus, and this is going to how they're going to take out Homelander.
Yeah.
And all of Gen V season 2 was building up
Marie to be able to take out Homelander.
And the very end of that is her meeting up with Starlight. So I was like, from the trajectory, they're all going to be involved in this. Everything's going to end. They're going to take Vought down. there isn't going to be anything left for them to do a season of. But given that Vought is still the machine that it is, you could do something with Gen V, especially with them now setting back up the
FBSA. Yeah, and a lot of people have been saying that as well. That
like, if they knew that was where it was going to go, like, I know they didn't know that it was going to get cancelled.
Which Gen V?
Gen V. Yeah. So it would be interesting if that had been the projected storyline, because they would make sense. Like,
well, they would have had season 5 written by the time Gen V got cancelled or didn't get renewed.
Yeah, they would have probably had like at least
I can
storyline for it. So,
but I feel like they definitely could have.
Also, I want to know what happened to Marie.
Yeah,
because like the last time we saw her, she was Papa Godolkin. Like,
yeah, they were setting her up to be already have like gone up a power level,
because they're like, oh, you don't have the control, and I was like, bitch has control.
Yeah, we talked about that in episode 7. We were like, why is she suddenly being treated as if she doesn't have the power to take on Homelander?
And I think I was expecting them to be in season 5 a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't expect them to be in every episode, but I thought there would be more interaction between them.
And I wasn't even necessarily expecting all of the characters to show up.
No.
Because that would be a lot to have.
Yeah.
You know, at the entire main cast of one show up in the final season of the main show.
Especially when Kate and Sam are still a bit like iffy. Yeah. But yeah, it made sense to have Jordan, Emma.
But in the way that you had Marie and her team being referenced a couple of times, if you had Marie, Jordan, and maybe Emma, play a bigger part in the season, or at least Marie and Jordan play a bigger part in the season, you could have those two mentioning what Sam and Kate and Emma and the rest of the guys are getting up to once or twice, and then just those two characters from the sideshow get introduced and fleshed out a bit more. And then, maybe we can actually have a reason why Marie can't take part in the final fight at the end, as opposed to just being told you don't have your shit together when it comes to your powers.
Yeah, and you're saving people by driving them across the border.
But as we said, if when they wrote this, they thought maybe we're going to get a Gen V season 3.
Yeah.
That might have been the focus of it, of what did happen to Marie.
Yeah.
So it was disappointing, especially considering, as you said, how much they set it up at the end of season 2 Gen V.
Yeah.
It did make it feel like they were going to be... Oh, yeah, I
really enjoyed season 2. There were some characters in that I'd love to have seen continue on. Black Hole's probably my favourite of it. I was like, dude is handy. Like, because he looked so gimmicky. It was like, oh yeah, haha, Black Hole. And then it's like actually no legitimate tactic.
Yeah, no, Black Hole was actually ended up being really fun. And Harper...
I love Harper.
They had great side characters there.
Harper's super crazy powerful too.
They can't bring in side characters into the main.
I know. It's just like that's it now. I'm sad for those characters. I'm not going to get to see them again. I loved Harper, loved Bushmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, girls should wear a skirt more.
These shows have always been good at the side characters. But just before we talk about Gen V Season 2, because that came up in the wraps, there's something that came up in the wraps that I wanted to talk about. I briefly mentioned the fact that Anna had said she wanted more like serious deaths in Season 3.
Yes.
That was why we started talking about A-Train. And that was something we agreed with. And then Season 4, we didn't get any
major deaths, except for Newman at the very end.
Well, Newman at the very end and Mallory.
Yeah.
But no major deaths
towards the end.
On the good side.
Yeah.
Like Anna was saying, she was missing that gut punch.
Yeah.
And even in this season, I feel like...
Not even like... Because you did have Kimiko being seriously injured at the end of Season 3. So, like, that was like, oh my god, because she was depowered.
Yeah, she was depowered for so long.
And then she was injured, like, really badly injured as well.
Yeah.
So that was like, oh shit, they're down a player. Like, they took a blow.
So through the entire run of the show, a show that was always supposed to be that bit more realistic, and there are deaths on like the good side, but it's always the ancillary characters. It was Raynor.
Raynor's death hurt so bad.
Oh, I know. That was something I talked about in the wraps as well. But it's Raynor's and it's Grace's and it's Alex's and it's never the core team.
Yeah,
it's always somebody they introduce and like Grace was a bigger one. Don't get me wrong.
Grace was a bigger character. She was
introduced at the end of season 1.
She had gravitas about her.
But it's still not the core team.
No. Becca was a pretty big death, but again, she was ancillary.
Well, yeah, and she was only there in season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
What a hell of a performance.
We never got what was supposed to be, as Anna said, a gut punch death on our side.
Death, it's like, it is unbelievably brutal, but...
What's the inciting incident?
But he does seem to move past it on his mission to vengeance quite quickly,
just in terms
you never even...
Of like what Anna was saying, of like getting that, like... like Carson.
Oh.
That's what she was talking about. Carson in Stargate Atlantis. When a beloved character dies in the middle of a show and it is just a gut punch of it. Yeah. Or
why do doctors in Stargate have to die in horrible fucking tragic ways that hurt me?
But yeah, when you kill off a main character, and it didn't happen in this show on the side of the good guys until the second to last episode. Like A-Train's death was a big one. Like I felt that, but that was at the start of the season. But while kind of had more weight than some of the other ones.
Because you'd seen Reggie in the last...
Everything from where we said he should have died to the point where he did die, he goes on a big journey.
Because you didn't think he was going to be... Because, you know, like he had... I suppose compared to the Deep, he has a support system and a family that care about him.
And he's always been... very
conscious of... He hasn't cared what anybody thinks of him except for his brother.
No, but he skirted the line as well. Like, he got them the stuff on Stormfront.
Sup, shitbirds?
Yeah, one of my favourite moments still. But he got them the stuff on Stormfront.
Yeah, well, that's also served him.
No, but as
like, he's always been willing to skirt it.
But
and that's why, and Sage picked up on that. That's why she was, like, that's her whole thing is, I was the person leaking shit to A-Train because I knew he was leaking to them, and it's called misinformation, you dumb fuck.
No, but just in terms of A-Train's journey, so season 1 he's like one of the main bad guys. Season 2 he doesn't rat Annie out immediately, and then he ends up kind of helping them at the end, but it's purely out of self-interest. Season 3 he moves beyond self-interest, but in a basic and kind of fucked up way with the Blue Hawk stuff and trying to do stuff for the community.
He's
but
on his justice
initially
warrior.
He's like throw some money at it, and then he's
on
like
his justice crusade, and then his rebranding.
It ends up with him actually going on a literal vengeance run with Blue Hawk and finding out that hasn't gotten the respect from his brother.
No.
And then season 4, he actually kind of turns.
Yeah, and especially with him saving MM.
Yeah, and he says that, that was the first time he ever felt like a real hero because the little kid looking at him. And then see it then actualized at the start of season 5 for the one episode he's in. Yeah, I really enjoyed where they took him, and that was a death that it was like, oh no.
Yeah, because halfway when he's in his fucking, oh my god, A-Train race to Africa.
Yeah, like... Is
that a video game based on the slave trade? When, like, Seth, that dressing down that he gets from Seth outside, it's that quickly followed by his brother being like, what the fuck is wrong with you? To realising that if he's just himself, people will like him. He doesn't have to be all of this, and seeing as well how badly Vought are like, no, fuck you and your story.
Well, and everybody...
With, training A-Train.
Yeah, but everybody calls him Reggie in the season 5 episode that he's, in season 5 episode 1, except for Homelander.
Yeah.
So it's nice that by the end he is Reggie.
Yeah. His name is Reggie.
Yep. So, yeah, that then to contrast with not getting Frenchies until the end and not caring about it by the time we got it. And then the only other death, like on the boys' side, is Butcher, but that was always a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, Butcher's going to die.
So,
whether or not he...
So for a show...
I was kind of hoping he would just kind of lay down and let it go.
Yeah.
No, I think if he'd gone before the dog, especially after the events with, like, Ryan dismissing him.
Yeah.
And then Tara dying, and he was like, fuck this shit. They all gotta go. But I'm going, I'm going to take y'all with me. So yeah. Although his epitaph, or not his epitaph, his eulogy, I very much enjoyed.
Yeah, and how they killed him, I am happy with how they did it, because we did still get, it was true to the comics. It wasn't as long as I would have liked, as I've already said.
But there is that moment of not reconciliation, but recognition that he doesn't need his canary. Like, he is taking his finger off the trigger. He does
take his finger off the trigger as
because
he pulls
it's the surprise on his face. Because he's like, oh yeah, I don't need to, oh, what's this?
But none of them really had that same gut punch.
Yeah, like,
for a show that was so supposed to be so grounded, and is so grounded in many, many ways, and especially given, I know we harped on it about it a lot, but we were told not to be precious.
Yeah, you just didn't kill enough people for us, I'm sorry.
I know I spent all season...
Especially compared to the body count in the comic books.
Yeah, and I know some people did get that good punch off Frenchie's death.
Yeah.
But, like, had MM died,
Oh my god.
That would have destroyed me.
Like, I honestly thought Terror was going to go in episode 7.
I kind of thought there'd be one death.
I was like, no.
Like, the most... Actually, do you know the one...
Terror choking on that chocolate scared me more than anything else this show has ever done.
Season 4 actually had a death that was way more like... And it was still one that wasn't part of the main cast, but that definitely... No, Huey Sr.
Fuck off.
That one broke my heart because Simon Pegg played it so well.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And the Butcher one, the Butcher one kind of comes close with how it's played.
Yeah.
But because that was a foregone conclusion, I knew that was going to happen.
The thing, like, I think it would have been better if Huey wasn't sobbing. Because Huey sobbing turned it from being quite a sweet, somber moment.
No, I didn't mind that so much.
To kind of comical.
So yeah, that's kind of... I think we said it a lot during the season anyway, that we were like, where are the deaths? Yeah. Where are the deaths that matter?
Please kill people. And thank you.
Get to
this is like when we told
us
Soldier Boy was coming and we were like, where's Soldier Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say there's a few that I was quite sad to see go on the bad side, just because I really enjoyed the characters. The one that hurt, I'd say, probably the most was Firecracker.
Yeah.
Because she was on the turn.
She wasn't, though.
Well, she was on the turn for herself.
She had the chance to leave.
Yeah, she kept chasing him.
And she kept going after him. So she, and she had...
You learn to shut your mouth and you get out.
She had her chance to have a Starlight moment and stop reading the teleprompter, and she didn't. Mm-hmm. So she was never...
incredible piece.
Even though she had her doubts, she was never going to turn on Homelander.
Yeah.
And like we said about the Deep, when we said the Deep gave Homelander the type of devotion he wanted, and it kind of sickened him. Somewhat the same with Firecracker. Like, she was absolutely devoted to him. She just said the wrong words. Yeah. Didn't stroke his ego in the right way.
Or be brutally honest with him in a way he's never experienced, like the Legend.
Yeah, that's the other way to survive Homelander.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Anthony Starr needs... He's never going to get the Emmy, which is really fucking disappointing. They're never going to...
I feel like they're never going to give it to him, but they have one chance now left to give it to him.
Please.
And because...
have you seen the memes? The memes alone are like...
The face acting and the noises that he was making.
Oh my god, there was so much grunting and vague gesturing this season, and it was incredible. Him just going, no, stop! Like with the little hand wave. When
Madeline Stillwell appears and she's like, what's wrong? And he's just like,
he gestures at everything.
Just kind of vaguely gestures at like, everything in my life is wrong.
And it's
so good. And then his when she unveils herself.
Oh, no. The creepiest one of all them is when he chokes out Soldier Boy and he whispers, I love you, and then he goes, up his back. Like, what are you doing, sir?
Yeah, when just before he beats the hell out of Ryan and he says, my sweet boy.
I'm sorry, that slow, open-handed drawback, and then he curls it at the pinnacle when he curls into the slow fist.
Yeah.
You're like, what is he going to do? And then it becomes a fist and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then it's like, don't, you're hitting him again. The slow, deliberate punching of Ryan is probably the most brutal thing in this whole show.
Well, also the consideration at the last one where he doesn't throw the punch because that is obviously the difference between life and death for Ryan, and he knows. Yeah. He's like, he knows I have beaten him to within an inch of his life, and this will be the last inch, and he stops. Yeah. And it's...
terrifying.
And
like that's one of the only times he has ever shown control.
I think it's because in his messed up mind as well, he killed A-Train. Yeah. But as we saw with the brilliant coffin speech, yeah, that was so good.
What's her name? Top fan.
You know, I always thought of myself as the big brother you didn't have, and then I can't remember the girlfriend's name.
Phenomenal.
And his ego on display there. But then in the next episode, he gets Soldier Boy out and nearly gets him killed, and
then when they go to when they announce Soldier Boy, he can't let him have the spotlight, and he's like, and he's my dad. No, but
in relation to Ryan, so he kills A-Train and then feels shitty about the fact that A-Train was gone and he deserted him. He nearly kills his daddy then in the next episode. So I think that's part of the deliberate reason he doesn't. That's what pulls him back from the last bit of killing Ryan. He realizes, oh no, I'll be alone again. I might be able to eventually work this out with Ryan, as he tries again towards the end of the season. But yeah, Anthony Starr's acting, as with Ed, throughout the whole all 5 seasons, he has been just phenomenal. They're all great, But yeah,
no,
Anthony
and
Starr
the highlight
is absolutely a standout.
of it is actually the released 3-minute straight to camera speech from the very last episode.
Oh, the highlight is all the memes he's given us across the years.
Have you seen the memes? So good. Also, the deep saying no.
Yeah.
But that straight on and all, it's the shift in the face because you don't see it in the cut from the show. But him when he's stumbling over father and then the mask just drops.
Yeah.
And you see the entire expression shift and the eyes stop twinkling, basically. It's creepy as fuck. It's incredible. It's so minute, but it's so off-putting.
Yeah, no, the man is just so fucking good. And I really hope they do give him an Emmy.
Yes.
Yeah, please. He deserves it.
He really does.
Getting back now to Gen V Season 2, one of the things that we said in the wrap for that and for Season 4 was that they both got leveled with accusations. Season 4 got leveled with accusations of being nothing but setup for Gen V Season 2. And Season
2 got leveled with accusations of being nothing but setup for Season 5.
Yeah.
Which turns out Season 2 had basically nothing to do with Season 5.
Beyond that last scene where we thought, as we said, that they were going to fold them
and her
into
meeting,
the world or into
and her meeting up with Stan because that's how they get on with Stan. That's the only thing that's going on there.
Yeah, beyond those kind of 2 bits,
which leads them to Fort Harmony.
But that was what was going to fold them into Season 5 of The Boys, the remaining characters, or we thought. But Season 2 had a standalone plot. And that was that was only a very small part of it. As I said, the scene,
because it was at the very end, to do with her being in Odessa lab.
And that bit with Stan,
and
that was
Godalkin and the wonder that was fucking
Cypher.
Oh, so
Hamish
good.
Linklater. Oh yeah, he was great. He was great.
And everything to do with him training her.
But yeah, that was the focus of Season 2, and
his own kind of weird, bizarre plan that he had going on.
It was fairly self-contained. So I disagreed with that. Also, to say Season 4 was nothing but set up for Gen V Season 2 was untrue because the virus didn't play a part of Gen V Season 2 at all, and Homelander's America was just kind of teased in the background of Gen V Season 2, so that was an unfair accusation.
Yeah, because they were out in the world, but the majority of it is in a university, which isn't really an accurate portrayal of the outside world. With the exception of the hostility towards that poor barista.
Well, no, when they go out, when they go on the run before Vicor finds them, and then before Stan finds them, they're in the library.
Like the libraries,
which a lot of Season 5 kind of takes place in.
Well, it's a school. It's an abandoned
school.
No,
not saying it's the same thing, but it's the same place. But yeah, all the schools, the actual schools have been shut down and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think Season 5 also got leveled with a similar complaint.
It's just set up
for Vought Rising. And I can't say for sure because...
The only thing I can kind of say regarding that is it did feel like they were trying to retro some of Soulja Boy's character, but it was pointed out in a couple of articles I was reading about it that all the stuff in the past that we hear about Soulja Boy is from either Mallory's perspective, Noir's perspective, or people who don't like him. We've been or Kate's fucked up dream perspective.
Well, also how we've seen him be on screen.
Yeah.
Which is a dickhead.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're trying to soften him for Vought Rising. However, I do think they have kind of...
They've been playing up the Clara relationship
retcon that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think we even said that at the time that they kind of had to retcon that for Vought Rising to work. And beyond Soulja Boy suddenly having a love for Clara that we didn't know about, that he didn't, because he mentioned Liberty in the Herogasm episode as that firecracker that I set up Herogasm with. So just another sexual conquest for all, from what he said there. And Crimson Countess was the love of his life, because even though he knew that they sold him out to the Reds, he still held out hope that she was going to rescue him for some reason. So like Homelander had the weird thing with Maeve, thinking that Maeve actually loved him.
Yeah.
He genuinely thought that she loved him and that he loved her, and they wanted to have brats together. And they were together at some point, if he got sent away in the early 80s, they were together through the late 70s.
Yeah.
Because based on the
timeline of
the payback stuff that we see and the old TV shows they're involved in. Yeah, they were together for at least a couple of years, if that was how he felt.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, Clara's the big love of his life.
And he was with her for decades. But didn't she disappear after the 60s? Like,
well, that still leaves late 40s, all the 50s, and all the 60s before she disappears. So that is decades.
Yeah.
But it's just, he had never mentioned it. Well, there was no mention of it at all in season 3 beyond the Liberty Firecracker line. So yeah, in that sense, it was kind of retcon. But that's the only thing I feel that was specifically to do with the Vought Rising setup. Like, if you remove Vought Rising from existence, all the stuff that's in there would still make sense. He wakes up Soldier Boy because he wants Daddy around. Yeah. He finds that Soldier Boy doesn't have the virus work on him because of V1. And that's something that we not predicted, but we've talked about for a long time.
V1 ever since different.
Well, ever since Stormfront was introduced and we found out how old she was. Yeah. We were like, well, then there has to be a different version of V compared to the normal ones because she's so old. And then Soldier Boy doesn't age in season 3. Legend talks about it because he says by the time the 80s was rolling around, he was pushing 60 and still looked the same. So we were like, oh, he must have the same V thing as Clara. And then Gen V season 2 gave us confirmation of that with what V1 was. Yeah. If you didn't watch Gen V, Samir explains it after.
Yeah, that V1 was the original iteration. They stopped using it because it slaughtered thousands.
Yeah, it was way more powerful, but it was way less successful.
For the 5, what was it? It cost thousands of lives for 5 successes.
Yeah, that's presumably and with that formula. That's with the working. That wasn't through testing.
Stan talking about how, like, when Vought came with the American side of things, like, they very much covered over all the fact that they didn't want Frederick Vought to be associated with concentration camps and experimentation on not even prisoners of war, kidnappees.
So V1 was already set up before it was even named anyway. Yeah. So that's why
we know that there's different iterations of V because we had the V24. Yeah. It's like the blue shit, the green shit. Apparently, the original shit's kind of a milky white.
Yeah, but
I was also like, damn, how stable is that after this long? Because chemicals degrade.
But we had already speculated on its existence as far back as season 2. And obviously it tracks that if Homelander ever found out about there being something that could make him immortal, he'd want it.
He's going to take it.
He'd obviously want it. And then it just becomes the hunt for V1. Yeah. And given it's from the past, and Soldier Boy is also from the past,
it's going to
you can introduce some stuff to do with Soldier Boy's past and Bombsight being...
Maybe 1 or 2 of the originals are still floating about.
Yeah, and if Vought Rising didn't exist, Bombsight's just another cool little Easter egg hero that they're introducing in the same way that we got She-Line and we got Dognot and we got any other hero.
Back and we got Cindy back and we got
a father and it's just another soup, but this one's a soup from the past. And I think
who's basically now a legend and disappeared into the annals of history, and it's like, oh shit, there he is in the flesh.
And I don't think that it's necessary. Like, it will serve Vought Rising, yes. Yeah. But I don't think that it was, like, it ruined season 5 at the expense of setting up Vought Rising any more than the accusations that were leveled against Gen V season 2 and season 4 of The Boys as being set up for the next thing that was to come. Because I just don't think they were.
No, it's people reading too much into it.
And that's kind of how I view it. Like, Vought Rising never happened. Would all this still make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, to me it would.
Yeah, because you need to have that tension between Soldier Boy and Homelander for Sage to think her plan is working. And also to get the brilliant rub it with your stump line. He did not hit him nearly hard enough.
That was brilliant.
The look of disgust on Soldier Boy's face when he's like, what the hell is that? You told me she died.
We did actually, just while we're on Soldier Boy and him being woken up.
Yeah. Were we like, he's going to come back?
That was something that you said, I think, in the season 4 wrap as well. You predicted that. No, that he'd probably, if he'd wake up Soldier Boy just to brag and be like, look at how well I did, Daddy. Yeah. And it kind of is.
Yeah, because the first thing he does after they have the whole did you fuck me conversation is he goes and shows him the fact that the president is going to go and get him a drink. Like, he takes him down. He's like, here's the president.
I love that bit because of
Do you want a warm milk?
Do you want a glass of milk? No, Stephen. And then I'll have the exact same drink as Daddy is having, basically. You also said you wanted Ashley to have powers when we saw her take the V and the back of her head go all bubbly. You wanted her to have a big giant brain like Brian from...
Yeah, with his AstroTurf hair.
Yeah, from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah.
Kind of got that.
Yeah. I think what she got is even better.
Yeah.
What she got was so fucking hilarious when it was revealed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, and it was perfect. Because at first I was just like, telepathy, that's not great.
Fantastic piece of comedy acting. When she's back Ashley
controlling Ashley's body. Yeah, it's so funny.
So hilarious. It's her face the whole time being that kind of like half knocked out.
Yeah, when they cut to her face and to Ashley's face, and she's still blacked out. It's just so funny.
Codename Ginger Snap.
One final prediction then before we move on to highlights and lowlights. Probably covered most of them at this point anyway. And the one that you got most correct was how the deep ends up going out.
Yes.
You said that you wanted the sea life to be the ones that took the deep out. All this season, you were saying you thought he was going to accidentally fuck up Homelander's plan somehow and that Homelander would kill him.
Yeah.
But last season, you said
I thought he was going to, that the
sea life would take him, and the sea life took him.
I honestly thought he would probably attempt one more like rescue, or some other big like whale or something like that would end up sacrificing itself for something stupid, and they would all just like lose it with him. What happens is so much funnier. Not cool with the oil spill. That's not funny.
No, but they were
having a like, and also that shark should have totally pulled him in.
I think they were going to end up turning on him anyway over one thing or another, because we saw him eating sushi.
Yeah.
And being like, this is a good thing. There should be no higher honor
than being consumed by me.
Yeah, he's basically
why
treating...
Why don't the orca whales have fucked him up by now?
Well,
they're like, oh no, it's that dork Kevin.
Yeah, we said that they were probably the only ones who...
Oh my god, is he Irving the socially awkward bee?
The deep,
when it comes to the orca whales, because he never talks about hanging out with them.
Well, he seems to get along with all of them, and as we said, it's because they like him so much that they do all the stuff, and it's only when they find out that, well, they think he's responsible for the pipeline and that he's done it on purpose. Maybe it's just because one of them saw the ad where he's like,
no, Noir told them on the way down.
No, we just said that would be funny if Nora had shouted on the way down.
We know it's you, Kevin.
Because, they say we know it's you, and then they say he's responsible for it. But they also found out about Ambrosius.
Yeah.
I think that was something Joe said, was that it would be funny if she were the reason that somebody found out about him killing Ambrosius.
Because Ambrosius' death is hilariously dramatic.
But, I mean, they should equally be pissed off about Timothy.
Well, yeah, because depending, like, if he left and he let his fish out, if he left, like, because he wouldn't have left his fish in the tower, they would have heard Ambrosius die.
Hang on, yeah. I think you're actually just...
So, if he released them back into the wild, they would have been like, yo, the shit I saw...
Yeah, we know what
he ate Timothy!
Yeah, the fish in his apartment are the only ones who know what he's really like.
Yeah.
So he would then probably try and free them. He had nowhere else to go, so he probably let them out.
Yeah.
And then they were like, fuck, he's done all this shit as well as the pipeline stuff. But yeah, his ending. But just again,
Chase Crawford,
Deep's whole journey from season 1 to season 5 of just steadfastly refusing to change for the better at every time he's offered an opportunity to the very end, where Annie directly tells him, for once in your life,
this is all your fault.
Take some responsibility for yourself, and he says, no!
I just assume that is a straight arm out in front of him run. Like, just, no! Like, going for the throat. But also, it's capped off by the joy of Gen V Season 2 when you find out that he was the president of the fraternity for 7 years.
Oh, hopeless idiot.
Oh, yes.
And has always been displayed as such.
The blue steel look is so good. And I think, the fact that he made it the whole way through, hilarious. His fucking, I could be your knight, and his interaction with Oh Father
in the last episode was great. Yeah, and that's another excellent gift that I keep seeing, is him walking into the room and then their reactions to the eye rolling. Oh god, his whole it's a trial.
Yeah,
like, just to the very end, he is an absolute, like,
this is all your fault.
Well, yeah, but just the way
he's my bro, he'll piss on me whenever.
Yeah, his slavish devotion to Homelander and the fact that it sickens Homelander is hilarious for both the fact that the Deep will never get it and the fact that it's the one thing that Homelander wants, and when he actually gets it, I don't think it's to do that much the fact that it's from the Deep. I think if he gets that level of slavish devotion
he still won't be happy.
Even though
and that's the crux of what everybody told him.
There is an element of fear there with the Deep. But he is also loyal just for loyal because he thinks that he can stay in power and stay relevant by being around him. And yeah, it's just hilarious that especially the dressing down that Homelander gives him in the final episode.
Oh, yeah.
And he, even calls him Kevin for the first time ever because he's always called him the Deep. So yeah, Deep's ending was what you predicted, and it was also fucking brilliant.
Because Annie didn't mean to.
She
was just trying to get him away so she could leave. Yeah.
And when he dies, she looks like, confused. So I don't think she expected the fish to turn on him.
No.
You did though. That was all of the predictions that I could come across from the wraps. So we start and say we'll leave highlights for the end and maybe do a little bit more bitching and talk about some of the lowlights.
Well, not enough people died. We've been over that.
We've touched on that
many times.
But I will.
I feel like as the seasons have gone on, the world has become less populated and vibrant. I know that's a reflection of the fact that they keep killing everybody in Vought Tower, but even the exterior world just doesn't seem to be as there. When you look at season 1 and especially that whole bit of them walking through Times Square.
Yeah.
And it all being populated and Vought Tower is bustling and outdoors it's bustling with people. It always seemed like as the seasons went on and on and on, the crowds and stuff like that got smaller and smaller and smaller.
Well, I mean, season 4 had...
I very much expected the big mega church to be mega-ear.
I know what you mean, because it
Believe seemed to be a pretty big thing.
They had, in seasons 1 and 2, they had way more big crowd shots. And I think...
But even just the general population of the tower seemed to have...
No, that's what I'm trying to say is... As the seasons went on, I think they just hired a lot less extras. Those,
except for Hero Gasm.
Well, but even then, that compared to shots of giant crowds full of people.
Yeah.
Whereas when they're in the mega church, it's kind of implied that it's packed.
Yeah,
but they don't need to show us every time. I don't know. I do get what you're saying, but I
haven't seen the size of some of the actual mega churches. When you see those audience sizes, it was you can easily just do that. Because it just,
that costs a lot of money, and they didn't have as big a budget this season compared to some of the other shows that are out there. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think there's a real world reason for.
I just felt like the megachurch audience should have been bigger than the people who thought they were going to be lasered to death at the shareholders meeting.
Yeah, well, they don't really show the crowd side from the mega churches, and I think that's for just that reason that it should be a giant crowd, and maybe they just didn't have it there to have a giant crowd after having already done the shareholder meeting earlier in the season.
Because even the prison camp, they were just kind of milling about and stuff. It just seemed...
Well, that I think is just a reflection of the fact that Homelander doesn't really know what he's doing, and he's just throwing them in there, and they have no plans beyond keep them in there.
Yeah.
They're not trying to re-netify them really beyond only having Vought stuff available for consumption, whether it's Vought food, Vought movies, or Vought books, because Frenchie's carrying around the copy of Deeper with all his contraband in it. No, I get what you're saying. One of the things that I thought may have been a bigger thing was the Flight 37 video finally gets released.
Yeah, and then gets immediately covered.
And gets swept under the rug straight away. And I suppose it establishes just how much control Homelander has now.
It kind of it felt a bit like when the US government went, hey, look, aliens are real. And everyone went, don't care, release the files.
Yeah, but just because they had built it up so much, and then it was even a part of Gen
go
V.
ahead, release the video. That's her whole reasoning for developing the fucking virus.
So for it to be released and then to be so quickly
dismissed.
It doesn't really have any major ramifications beyond that being the reason that Homelander's Starlight's done this thing to try and embarrass me, so we're going to kill the guys to draw them out. It just felt it didn't have the impact that I was kind of hoping for. One of the other things that we had said kind of early on in the season that we didn't like, I recall, and stayed a little bit throughout the season, was the dialogue.
Yeah, there was some weird...
wasn't great.
Yeah.
From a couple of characters when they were going for that Boise irreverent, like not gory but
flippant.
Yeah, that sort of flippant, crass dialogue.
Yeah,
it wasn't hitting the way it used to.
Yeah, there was like
it was one thing from Kimiko, but like even Huey had a few lines.
There was a couple of clankers. Like, they were not good.
We also kind of said the gore wasn't hitting.
Yeah,
like not just the gore, but like the kind of the people climbing inside dicks and stuff that we've gotten in previous seasons. That like the rock hard stuff just fell flat for us as well. However, come episode 5, they definitely got it back. Yeah. With Soldier Boy going visiting the guys in LA. Yeah. Because
so many squishies.
The way they all died was fucking hilarious, and the dialogue in all of that, like with all the Hollywood writers, and then the dialogue, particularly
about them all shopping. I'll be fucking
all the McCarthy stuff, basically.
Yeah.
No, but then also the impassioned speech from Marathon Man about why they should get rid of Homelander. Yeah. Like, that was great, you know, about like how they're going to ban abortion. And that would be bad for me personally, and all that stuff was the boy stuff that I expected.
Back to being fucking awesome.
Yeah, that line cracked me up. And even all the stuff about his shitty Sony movies that can't mention any of the Vought heroes or use the Vought names. That was all the stuff that I had been missing in the earlier episodes. So yeah, while the dialogue and gore weren't hitting right early on, they did improve.
Get there,
because that was something we had said about season 4, despite our complaints, was that balance was there the whole way throughout of comedy and kind of gore and seriousness and deaths as well. I had said there was an awful lot of deaths in season 4. Yeah. Not just named characters, but also the ones who were introduced in season 4 and killed off in season 4. Yeah. Well, we got a fair bit of that in this season as well. They were just nearly all the big names were on the bad side beyond Frenchie. Because you had Ivy dies in the first episode. Yeah. And so does Butcher's dad. Yeah. Both of whom were introduced. Well, we first meet the dad way back in season 2.
Butcher's dad, yay.
Towards the end of season 2. And Ivy shows up in season 3, but she's not really in a huge amount. Then, obviously, A-Train was the big one. Yeah. Rockhard and Jetstreak introduced and killed off in the same episode.
Didn't care. Like She-Line. Also like Countess Crow.
She lasts a little bit longer, and Countess Crow survives.
Countess Crow, Countess of the Crows.
Yeah, she survives.
As do the 2 crows.
Maverick gets killed off, and he was one of the Gen V characters, but Translucent's son dies in much the same manner.
And we also got an answer to a very important question.
Sloane is a llama. Yes, his girlfriend is a llama. Yeah. Now never going to be seen again because Maverick is dead and we're not getting any more Gen V. But at least I got my answer.
Yes, you did. Sloane is a llama.
Sloane is a llama, and that's the answer that I wanted. Because that means she is a sentient llama. And we knew that animals could get V because of Jamie.
Yes, and also...
all the stuff that came after Jamie as well. But yeah, Jamie was our first introduction to V'd Up animals, which was definitely one of the highlights of season 3.
Oh my god, can you imagine if Tech Knight had gotten his hands on Jamie?
That would not have ended well for Tech Knight.
No.
So as well as Maverick, then we lost Cindy in short order afterwards.
Yeah. I enjoyed Cindy's backstory.
Yeah.
That entire car conversation, the 4 of them, the initial just conversation between Deep and Noir.
Yeah.
With the pan out.
And then the 2 of them sitting in the back end and her origin story.
That was a great scene. Its entire delivery is magnificent.
Yeah, that was some of the dialogue at the time where we were like, that was good. Brilliant. That's how you do it. Oh. So that takes us up to the deaths in episode 3. Nobody died in episode 4 except for Quinn, whoever the fuck he was. Yeah. Still reckon, you're probably right. Soldier Boy's brother would have been one of
Frenchie
the failures.
Frenchie should have died then.
Yeah, we talked about it at the time.
Saving all of them, when they go and get him, they're then
Frenchie should have died there, yeah. Then in the next episode, Burke goes in one shots. Firecracker dies in that episode. Yeah. Marathon Man, Malchemical, and all of the actors introduced and killed off. Seth Rogen had shown up before. Yeah. But the rest of them was all their first episode, and they're dead by the end of it. But that was fun. That was fun getting
there. Doug Judy.
Yes. Then Black Noir in the next episode.
Black Noir 2.
Yes, sorry, Black Noir 2 in the next episode.
Still think he went out too easy.
Yes. Then in episode 7, President Calhoun, Dognot, and She-Line die. Yeah. Oh, so does Synapse, but he was only introduced in that episode, so he kind of doesn't really count.
Oh no, but just for...
Oh, he was great, but like Dognat, Sheeline had all been introduced in previous episodes, and the president's been around since the very second episode.
When he was Senator Calhoun.
Yep. Then in the last episode, you have our father. We skipped over Frenchie.
Yeah.
Frenchie dies in episode 7 as well. Then in the last episode, our father goes, Deep goes, Homelander, Terror, and Butcher.
Yeah.
So they saved quite a few for the end there. So there is a lot of deaths there, but they're nearly all on the bad side. And I expected that.
Like, Homelander killed more Soups than anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Homelander just loves killing him some Soups. Like, he's killed more members of the Seven than anybody else.
Yeah, and he's always the one who's giving...
He's also killed more potential members of the Seven than anybody else. And then he was the one who was like, turning on your own kind.
Yeah,
you do it all the time. Yep. Daddy said we could.
Well, and he's always been a hypocrite, though.
Oh, he is.
But yeah, so as we already kind of harped on about, there were not enough deaths on the other side.
No.
On the good side. But there were plenty of deaths throughout the season, so... Was there anything else that particularly irked you this season?
Not really. I do feel like it just didn't seem like it was progressing in any way. It was like as soon as Homelander got the V1, it was like, oh well, virus is off the table. Yeah,
for me it was kind of, they didn't really show us. They built up Homelander getting the V1 so much from
and then when there was no display of the powers.
Episode 3 when he first learns about it, to at the end of episode 6 when he gets it. So 3, 4, 5 and 6 are all about Homelander trying to get V1.
Yeah.
And then, we don't really see any
culmination of a power boost.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit in the finale, but they didn't show us at all what the effects of V1 were on Homelander. Did it literally
just make him immortal?
That much presumably worked because that was why he wanted it. But that, and then obviously the virus suddenly gets not talked about at all until the very end when Butcher goes to try and use it again. So that I also did find a bit...
Sage should have had contingencies.
Yeah, well...
Because she did for phase 1.
Yeah, and we just, as we said, if she's that smart, she should have contingencies for contingencies.
It just seems like Sage was being... I don't know if it was her own hubris.
Well, for her, I think it is supposed to be a little bit of hubris. And for Homelander, obviously it is. It's nothing but hubris for Homelander. I think it is for her, and a combination of that and... the whole stuff with Godolphin made her lose faith in herself a bit. For me, it was the simplicity of her plan. It kind of tracked, but it just...
I do get that often, like, the simplest plan is the one that has the least amount of things to go wrong.
Well, it's not so much that the plan was simple, so much as her end goal was simple. Yeah. And I suppose, I kind of get it for her that all she wanted was peace and quiet.
Yeah.
But there's the old adage when you're writing about like super genius characters is they're only as smart as the writers who are writing them.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in an insulting way. I just mean nobody is worldly that smart.
Yeah.
So you can't really be that smart to write a character that smart. But where we had seen Sage in season 4, at the end of season 4, we thought that Homelander was never going to question her again.
Yeah.
But we should have known better. It's Homelander. Yeah. I don't think there was much else about the season that pissed me off beyond Kimiko and Frenchie's relationship.
Yeah.
Because they were all the PDAs at the start.
And then it was like, no, I need calm, you're chaos. And then
we want different things.
Like, I want to settle down. And then she's irradiating herself and he's like, do you know what? Maybe we can give the kids thing a go.
For me, it was more the fact that right in the middle of the season, they basically break up at the end of the Fort Harmony episode.
Yeah.
And then when we see them again in Terra's one-shot.
Yeah, she's just
giving out about the stakes. Like, why can't we...
still normal.
Yeah, why can't we, want the same things when she literally told them in the previous episode that that's why they can't be together?
Yeah.
So, they're kind of... That was a bit weird. And then, he suddenly changes his mind. But I think we said at the time that was just because we knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
It was convenient for him to be like, oh yeah, now I suddenly want kids.
Yeah.
And then I'm
stop
dead.
Stop irradiating yourself.
I didn't mind Kimiko getting the power that much.
No, that didn't bother me at all.
I thought that was kind of cool in a way.
I was like, oh yeah, it makes 100% sense it'd be her as well, given her power set.
Yeah, she's the only one who would have been able to withstand it. But also I thought it was cool because... one of the things I really did like about the season was how many full circle moments there were. And that's kind of a full circle moment right there because Homelander is the reason that she got powers in the first place.
Yeah, because of his little program of running V around the world.
And now she is the reason that Homelander has no powers at the end. So I did kind of like that. And given that they didn't have Soldier Boy in the finale, they needed somebody to be able to remove his powers to give us that glorious ending that we did get.
Yes.
But before we get on to Homelander's glorious death, and it was glorious, Frenchie and Kimiko's relationship wasn't the only thing that was back and forth, because I kind of feel like all of the main characters, certainly nearly all of the boys, and definitely Soldier Boy,
oh my god,
we're all a bit back and forth flippy floppy this season.
Yeah, cause at least give it to Homelander. Once he put his mind to it, he was hellbent.
Him and Huey were the only ones who stayed on track for the whole season.
Huey losing it is why we get the Brilliant Spice Girls speech. Because that is, that's Huey the only... giving up is oh shit.
And it's only a short bit of Huey giving up.
Yeah. MM is oh, I've quit being a neurotic mess and now I'm eating pube candy off the floor. Yeah,
well, with him, it was
I can kind of see with him, he had that's his equivalent of giving up. He was well, fuck it. It was after they tried to kill Soldier Boy and then he finds out Soldier Boy is immortal. He's what? He's well, I'm just going to keep on living my life and not give a shit. I've tried to do all this shit and it hasn't made a difference, so I'm just going to drop it all.
It was
he basically is when child actors get out of their Disney contract.
But my issue wasn't so much that he was having a problem and not being himself. Was that it was he started to come back to himself with Countess Crow, Countess of the Crows, by saving her.
Yeah.
And then the next episode, he's given up again because he finds out about Soldier Boy.
Yeah, but that is such a devastating blow to him as well. That's his entire life.
Then he shaves up and looks all proper and puts on hip-hop t-shirts. Yeah. But still is oh, Monique and Janine are better off without me.
Yeah. I think he's at that point resigned himself to the fact that he's not going to get out of it alive.
Yeah,
and he's just what the fuck is the point? I'm going to just look sharp and be myself and not care about anything. And
I think for me, if it was mostly the Countess Crow thing.
Yeah.
That moment felt like he was getting back on track.
Yeah,
but then he wasn't at all.
But that was almost the building block to him, the encounter with Marie, when he's
well, he doesn't even say anything there. Yeah, that is the spur that makes him give the speech to Annie in that episode. But even Annie has a little bit of a back and forth because she's
I'm alone. I'm okay by myself. Look, they're over here. Oh, we have to get them out. I have to go fix this thing. Because she runs away from Huey at the camp.
Yeah, that's it. So in the first episode,
she keeps running away. She's a bit like Huey. You know why Huey quits every season?
Yeah. Well, that's
this is comics, the first season
that's comics Huey as well.
Yeah, he's quitting all the time. But it's even mentioned on in season 2. It's what's he quitting about this week?
Yeah.
He is Huey's the only one that's always been I'm going to do this. No, I'm not. This is shit. I'm going to do it the right way. Fuck you guys. And this season he's no, we have to.
He's hopeful the whole way through. Yeah. But that's part of the thing with Annie is for the first couple of episodes she's all on Butcher's side of we got to do the shit things and be assholes. And then she has that line when they're talking about Maverick and she's oh, it's nice to be around somebody who's trying to actively make things better instead of just stopping them from getting worse.
And you got Hugh's.
But then by the end of the episode, she fucks off on her own.
Yeah, she's I can't stand it. You were safer and I knew where you were. And that is...
And she goes and has her she goes home. Well, not home, but she goes and she finds her dad.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, that's going to be a big change. But then it's not really, because then when they're in the Vought Studios thing, she has to get that pep speech from Homelander.
Yeah.
So she's all flippy floppy. Butcher is flippy floppy as well.
Yeah.
His I can understand a bit more because we did see all of season 4 was the push and pull between the two sides of him, the Becca side and the Kessler side. This time it's just not as out in the open because we're not seeing Becca and Kessler.
Yeah.
But his...
He is still struggling, even though he's given over to it.
His is the one I kind of understand the most.
Yeah, I was expecting him to be a lot more kind of maniacal.
Well, yeah, see, I did. Well, we said we wanted more villain Butcher earlier on here.
He kind of gave me a case of Mr. Floppy.
Butcher Blue Balls.
Yeah, and I was.
Yeah, he wasn't villainous enough.
Yeah, the start of it, him killing his dad is so cold.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
I was oh, and then even the way he looks at them and he threatens them before introducing Samir. Thank you. Sorry, I couldn't remember how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, he threatens. He's I will kill you if you tell him what happened. He threatens Kimiko and Huey when they're in the car going to get the virus off him. In the next episode, they're
but there's never any kind of. Is it I'm just threatening you for the sake of it?
Yeah, well, no, I think he wasn't villainous enough, but that aside, his kind of flippy floppying because he's angry Butcher in the first couple of episodes, but then Ryan,
the Fort Harmony episode.
Well, see, that's what I was going to say. At the end of episode 3, Ryan nearly dies.
Yeah,
and I think that pulls him back a little bit.
Yeah.
Then Fort Harmony happens, and he kind of hardens himself again. And then in episode 5, Tara nearly dies.
Yeah.
And that pulls him back a bit, and he offers to Huey
the bit of one.
Yeah, that you can, if we can find it first, you can use it.
Yeah,
but,
you can have some.
So there is still kind of a push and pull between his two sides there, so it kind of makes it that bit more sense.
But yeah, losing Ryan and losing Tara, there's just nothing left for him.
But then, yeah, that's it. He nearly loses Ryan and he nearly loses Tara, and that's what pulls him back a bit from being full-on butcher. And then he actually loses them. Not Ryan doesn't die, but Ryan says fuck off, and Tara dies. So then when he does lose them, he's like, well, right now I do have nothing left.
Yeah, burn the world down.
And that's when, yeah. So his push and pull, his flippy floppy, I understand a bit more.
Because he's won in his eyes. Like, he won when he cracked that crowbar. The second that crowbar.
Oh, yeah. But the biggest flippy floppy of the season
Soldier Boy.
has got to be Soldier Boy. The one I understood the least. Or not understood the least, just...
whiplashy.
Yeah, because...
I get the whole he had a bit of begrudging respect for him, but you can still not like a person and be very wary around them and have respect for them. Like, you got frozen twice, you were in his room for God knows how long. That's weird enough. Like, because he's right from the get when he's like, oh, you only found out this morning, why am I here?
Why is this in your bedroom?
Why is it in your room?
So he starts to trust him a little bit there, and then he nearly dies from the virus, so he's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then they stay on fuck you until Fort Harmony, where he doesn't kill him, and then he's kind of back on his side a little bit. And then he sees the Stumpfront video.
And he's like, fuck you again.
Away from him again, going, fuck you. But by the end of the episode, after he's had his chat with Ben, he's back on Homelander's side.
His chat with Ben?
His chat with Robbie.
Yeah.
Bombsite.
Yeah.
He goes back on Homelander's side. Well, not Homelander's side, Clara's side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there was too much flippy floppy for Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy didn't come across as the type of individual who would follow Homelander's plan. Like, he knows that Homelander wants to, he has the whole "you're not God" thing.
Yeah.
And he knows that the dude is cracked. So why would you still, no matter, even though he's like, oh yeah, Clara would want you to have this.
Yeah, Clara would want...
You also said that she was fucking nuts too.
Well, Clara would want...
Two nuts don't make
Like, even if he was completely in love with Clara and blinded to all of her problems, he's not blinded to Soldier Boy's problems, or to Homelander's problems.
No, he's disgusted by it.
And while that might be what Clara would have wanted, she certainly wouldn't have wanted cracked Homelander to become immortal. Like, the Homelander that she knew in season 2 was what she wanted. The one that she thought she could mold a bit more to her view. It wasn't even that he was what she wanted, it was that he could become what she wanted. So, yeah.
It's only supposed to be me.
Yeah, and even he was like, no, it's all about me. Yeah. It's not about, a race of Superman. It's just me.
Yeah, me. My ego.
So is it what Clara would have wanted?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's so Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy's basing his thing on Clara from the 1960s.
Yeah, and Soldier Boy was always going to be in this season.
Yeah,
and I didn't mind him being in this season, and I can even forgive them for benching him for the final episode to give Kimiko.
Yeah, the big wong.
But yeah, he really was whiplashy. It didn't feel justified as well because when he makes the turns back towards Homelander, both times the justifications are weird because one is the Clara one and the other justification that he turns back is when Back Ashley tells us that he's got a weird respect for him and he's kind of proud of him. Why?
Well, he's got the president and stuff on board.
But that's just that one thing. Yeah. But he still tells him he's the softest, weakest boy.
Yeah.
After the thing with the president.
Yeah.
When he finds out, because he thinks he's been betrayed by him and nearly dies because of the virus.
Yeah.
And then he's like, haha, fuck you, I'm going to get the 7 because I'll be immortal forever. You're just the softest, wettest boy. So why would he be proud of him after that?
I think he lashes out at him because Homelander is him.
Homelander
has that, what's Ben, remember Daddy didn't even beat him.
I think I've just realised what it is. One of the things we praised it a lot in the early seasons was they were great at show, don't tell.
Yeah, this is very tell, don't show.
And
I'm getting very annoyed by
some of the problems that we had in
your character can't tell him he's sad.
that makes me angry. Yeah, but I think that was a lot of our problem with season 4 as well, was that they weren't as strong with the show, don't tell. And they were a bit more of the tell and not showing us.
In fairness though, reading commentary and stuff and comments below posts and discussions following this season, I think tell, don't show wasn't even enough. They needed to show and tell, because apparently people don't pay attention to this show correctly.
I don't care. Fuck them. If you aren't witted enough or paying enough attention to the show to get it, that's your problem.
Yeah.
I do not want a show telling me stuff all the time.
Because I pay attention to this sort of shit.
But yeah, Soldier Boy's flippy floppy was...
It was a lot of beating around the bush Like
I think
Fort
that was
Harmony. Like I think if everything had solidified after Fort Harmony and they were all set on their paths,
that would have made more sense. Yeah.
Because Fort Harmony did need to kind of happen to get everything blown up and out in the air.
Well, that's what we said at the time. I
still
thought
want
Frenchie
should have died.
Frenchie should have died in that episode, yeah. But I thought it was a bit.
And that would have given us a lot of ramp up, and we would have. I feel like it should have been a bigger scale ramp up.
Well, it would have given Frenchie's death a bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
Because Frenchie dies at the end of episode 7, and then it's the final episode.
Yeah.
So all you get is the funeral scene.
Yeah.
And like I said, the stuff with Kimiko and Ghost Frenchie felt a bit unearned. That Ghost Frenchie stuff might have been earned if they had 3 or 4 episodes to let his death breathe and show all the characters being affected by it.
Yeah.
But also,
because I wanted to see more of kind of like the brainwashing. They introduced all these psychics, didn't do anything with them. Well, they did, but not effectively.
No, see, I get that. For the same reason that Homelander wouldn't have allowed anybody to protect him because he thinks he doesn't need protection.
Yeah.
He doesn't want the psychics to... and the same reason he doesn't want our father to be able to preach.
Yeah.
He just wants people to love him straight away and believe him straight away. He doesn't want to have to convince...
the people that do that.
Yeah, I know. that's a whole other problem
that's
that he has.
That's the Homelander paradox.
But it is.
Worship me!
Yeah, and then when you worship me, I'll kill you.
Not like that.
But the fact that he won't allow the psychics to sway people, I can understand, because he thinks he shouldn't need to sway anybody.
Yeah.
They should just see his glory and automatically believe he's a god. But the thing is, if they already were going to be so quick to it, they should have been worshipping him as a god long before he declared himself a god.
Yeah. Well, they did at one point.
Some of them did, yeah. Especially like when you see like him doing his Jesus Christ poses to believe.
Yeah.
All those people back then,
Woo!
yeah.
Yeah, Homelander. I mean, like at his very first introduction, he launches a dude in the air and everyone's like, cool, can we have photos with you?
Yeah, they don't care about that at all.
Yeah. Dude goes splat like 6 cars back. It's hilarious. But that's the power and the awe he has. He's getting mobbed constantly no matter where he goes. You know, and he's reveling in it. And he's like, yeah, worship me. And even his, like, traditional birthday save. The crowd, everyone's like, yeah, Homelander, get that girl. And then he falls apart and just pushes her. But, like, everybody knows who he is. He is bigger than Jesus at that point. Yeah,
so that's why he doesn't want to use the psychics. I do get that.
Yeah.
But just back to Fort Harmony, had that been the turning point for most of the people, then you could have had 5, 6, 7, and 8 all been about the build-up. Instead of there being back and forth with other characters flippy-floppying right up until the end. If that big hate-filled thing in Fort Harmony settled everybody.
Kind of a roundup of other soups in the universe of them clearing out, like being sent after them, kind of like Dognot and Cindy.
Yeah, but I suppose it's easy with hindsight.
Yeah.
I think one of the only other things that I thought was lacking in season 5 was we didn't get Seth at all.
Yeah, but he got out, so
Seth from marketing. Yeah. I thought he would have shown up because he's been around for so long.
Yeah, but he managed to escape, I think, the massacre last season, so would you go back there?
But he was still working for Vought because we saw him in Gen V season 2 with Marie
and...
So one of the last things he says in that meeting is, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, and he did.
When Cypher explodes. So maybe he was like, you know what, I'm done.
I am gone. Unless Ashley managed to take him to the White House. He's doing Ashley's marketing for the White House.
Maybe he is, but I think it was just the fact that we got Eagle showed up. Eagle, we haven't seen Eagle since episode
season 3.
And it was nice to see him back in there. But they brought in Eagle, who we hadn't seen since season 2.
Well, he'd been doing stuff with that church, so his profile had raised, so...
And then he left the church in disgrace. Well, he left the church and they disgraced him. But...
That's hilarious when that's A-Train just turning around to look at the deep and being like, wow, you will flip on anything.
But the fact that he was in it highlighted for me that bit more. I was like, well, if you brought him back, bring Seth back.
Yeah, there's other
Seth's literally been
like
around
that
since the start, since season 1. Like I think the first time we see him and Evan are when in like episode 2 or 3 when they're giving Annie her new uniform,
and they tell the story.
Yeah, like he's been around for so long.
That's just after is that when she's caught with the save or something like that? After she's caught saving the guy, and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, that's Annie January," and they turn her storyline.
It's after she saves the person and they give out to her, but then the girl comes forward. So as part of that, to raise her profile, they're doing this with Seth and Evan and marketing in the new.
I will
uniform.
say it's one of the suits that's closest to, because I love that series in the comic book.
Yeah.
And when they have her all done up with the big teased hair and shit, and she's just like,
oh, that uniform that they tried to give her is even worse.
Oh, it's so much worse. The one that they hold up, that it's basically a Borat thong and a bikini.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
yeah.
It's ridiculous. But when and she's all done up in the teased hair and shit.
But yeah,
it's so funny though, the pitch and everything
and
the pacing of that. Of them, like, you can tell they're still
the back and forth between the two of them, finishing off each other's sentences. They're great. So that, I think, was why I was missing Seth. Because
I was like, I'm happy that Seth survived because the poor dude has no dick anymore.
But in that scene where they're doing the
they're
round table,
everybody.
No, when they're doing the round table in season 5 and they're talking about how do we sell Homelander as God, and you've got Courtney Fortney and you've got Worm there.
Yeah, of course marketing's going to be there.
Yeah, why wasn't
there wasn't any marketing?
Maybe real world reasons. Maybe the actor wasn't available.
Yeah. But
I was just a little bit sad that we didn't get any Seth.
Yeah, because there would have been the marketing aspect of it.
Right, so I think we've done plenty of bitching. Shall we move on to the highlights of the season? One of which I teased already there, which was Homelander's ending.
Oh my god.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. I don't care what any of the ranters have to say, the other ranters.
I liked the fact that there was still plenty of people involved.
Yeah.
But it wasn't messy, because that's one of my big things about, like, say, a lot of the Avengers films and things like that. There's so much chaos, and there's, like, you know, the big swirling trash thing in the sky that happens so much in those movies.
Yeah.
And there's just, your brain just gets confused, and I could just give up. It's like Transformers when we watched it for the first time, and we were like, there's too much shit going on when he transforms.
They did it really well, because they separate out the boys. And while I did kind of want Annie to be able to have a fight against her father, because he fucking beat the crap out of her earlier in the season when he really shouldn't have. It made more sense. Yeah. So Annie goes off and
Annie
fights.
in the Deep coming full circle.
Yeah, that was great.
Just
Annie in the Deep go off.
The nut shot was the cap on that for me.
No,
obviously him going, no.
Just to your point, because we'll get onto the Deep's ending in a minute. Annie goes off with the Deep. and Huey go off and take care of her father, and that just leaves Butcher and Kimiko and then Ryan to take on Homelander. So
Ryan's fucking crashed through the window. It's like, touchdown!
And whatever about other people giving out about, like, the power scaling issues and stuff there. No, but Ryan has always been touted to be
Ryan's incredibly strong. We've never seen, like, we saw him casually. He was supposed to just
destroyed fucking Stormfront.
Look at Coy. Like, he was supposed to just push him over.
Yeah.
And he launched him into a building.
Well, that was a human. But he absolutely destroyed Stormfront. Stormfront. When Homelander...
Yeah, when he's mad enough too. And now he's learned a bit.
Yeah, so, and Kripke has said Ryan is supposed to be stronger. Like,
Ryan is
will end up being stronger than Homelander.
I really, really hope he still has powers, because I am so excited to see anything to do with Ryan coming up.
The actor,
number one, I'm really excited to see the actor.
Well, both the actors, Laz and Cameron, have both said Ryan still has his powers, but I think the two of them are just trying to pitch a spin-off so that they get another job.
Also, he's Ryan Milk now.
He is Ryan Milk. That's hilarious.
Homelander would be so proud.
Yeah. But yeah, just Homelander's ending. I thought it was brilliant. I know I said we wanted him depowered, but what they gave us was, like, just so good. And in a way,
I once again, Anthony Starr.
The acting
from when he woke up and the realization he tries to use the eye lasers, and you just can see him calculating and stressing. Yeah. And how do I get out of this? How do I save myself? I'll fly.
Yeah. If the eye lasers don't work, maybe the flight still does.
Works.
Oh shit, the flight doesn't work. Oh, I better run. Oh no, he's blocking me from running. I'll throw a punch.
The immediate regression to scared little kid.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's never left that room.
And I think that was one of the reasons that I loved it so much, was because it does quite mirror the comics ending, just in that it's an absolute rug pull for Homelander.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing with the noir reveal. Yeah, that's what emotionally devastates him in
the comics. Yeah,
and lets him be killed. It makes him vulnerable.
Well, Noir basically kills him, but
he gets the moment to do it, because he's like. I'm sorry, the face on Noir when he takes that mask off in the comic books, and it's just that big mad looking head on him, being like, ha ha.
But yeah, there's that rug pull in the comics where Homelander realizes that he didn't actually need to do any of it, and he was manipulated into all of it, and he could have had more or less everything he wanted instead of what he thought he wanted, because he thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
And I like that rug pull. And here we get a similar kind of rug pull of him realizing his cockiness what completely fucked him in the end. And yeah, he just humiliates himself then completely. Yeah. And even the humiliation I thought was brilliant. We talked about it in the episode of like, yeah, of course he'd offer to suck.
He's a snivelling little, like he understands, all he understands is the exchange of power.
Yeah, and even the look on Butcher's face when he's like when he says like, I'll suck your cock and I'll eat your shit, the look on Butcher's face is, oh my God, this is the guy that I spent so much time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not wasted, but I've put so much hate into this guy, and that's how pathetic he is.
It's how a bully acts, though, when you take away their power.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He really is, and it's
and that's why it was the perfect ending, like, because it's everything that we've seen in Homelander across the last 5 seasons.
Yeah.
This is exactly what he would do when his powers were taken away from him. And it was, I thought it was brilliant.
Because we've always seen when he's around somebody who may possibly be stronger than him, he's always afraid of that. He's always
been,
that's why I think he doesn't want people to convert, because he always wanted to be the big fish. Like, that's why he won't really, like, when he takes over Vought and he realises he's fucking up.
Yeah.
He starts to lash out because he can't be wrong.
Yeah. He always wants more power, and he always wants to be number one.
And when people are, like, anytime anyone's better than him or smarter than him or more successful than him, or like even with Huey, who's just, why do people like you?
That was a brilliant bit. I love that as well. And that
like, why? Well, like, look at you. You're pathetic. Why are all these people who I deem to be important because they're either supes or they hold some sort of, they've proven themselves capable to me,
or they're a familial relationship to me.
Why did they all have this, like, devotion to you?
Yeah, and he just can't understand. Like, he literally, it does not compute when Huey tells him, because I do the same for them.
He's like, why?
He's like, but what? What? I shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to like reciprocate the love. I shouldn't have to reciprocate the willingness to die for them.
Because he's a narcissist.
Oh yeah, no, but just that they showed that so well in that scene, like,
just this complete lack of like, because he does all this. He's like, I'm bigger, I'm better, I'm stronger, so why you should venerate me?
Yeah, just because.
Yeah.
And no, that's not how the world works, buddy.
No.
But yeah, I thought his ending was great, and one of the other highlights that we've hinted at is the full. I loved all the full circle moments.
Yeah,
and there were a lot this season.
There were a lot of people got either compensation or justification.
Yeah, and like there was big ones, and there was like a lot of little smaller ones. There was plenty of like callbacks throughout. One of the things I quite liked was Homelander and Firecracker with the teleprompters. Firecracker can't do her Starlight moment. She ends up having to follow the lead. Like,
she struggles, but she does it.
And then Homelander in the very last episode almost has his own little Starlight moment where he can't read the teleprompter, goes off prompt and scares everybody and ruins his own plan.
Yeah.
Kimiko being the one to take out Homelander, we briefly mentioned already as a nice little full circle moment.
Because she wouldn't even have powers without him.
Yeah, there was just so many.
Which does lead to... Because when did she get powers?
What do you mean?
Like, when... Because is it ever explained when she got the V?
Prior to being brought to America.
Oh, okay. They gave it to her and kept her in a cage there.
They gave it to her and found out that it worked. Yeah. So, well, it's not stated, but I'm assuming they gave it to her.
Because of the way she was chained up.
Shining Light gave it to her, and then, like, because A-Train runs it all around the world.
Yeah.
And then when it succeeds, they're trying to get supervillains into America as a justification to get them in the military. So I always assumed she got the V in the Philippines. They're Philippines, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shining Light are from?
Yeah.
And then when it works, they send her over. And then she goes AWOL.
Yeah.
So they try it on the brother and it works, and they send him over too. So that was my assumption.
Yeah, because they're always like, they seem to prefer genetic lines.
Deep doesn't quite get a full circle moment.
No,
but it's just a solid continuation the whole way through from season 1 to season 5. Although I did like that when Annie is trying to tell him to cop on to himself.
Yeah.
And he has that line about her...
this is all your fault.
No, her fucking smart mouth.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, kind of a callback to what their first incident together, you know? And it's like, no, it's not her mouth. It's your dick and your head that was the problem, buddy. And obviously, then Deep's ending.
I do feel like, I know they were all like, justice for Ambrosius, but I was like, the pipeline?
Yeah, they probably should have mentioned, as you said, the bearing billion.
Yeah.
I'd like.
I still think that the fish in the tank in Deep's room.
Well, yeah, like
squealed.
you said earlier on.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that it was the fish got out, they squealed, and like Joe said last season, Ambrosius was actually really important to them for some reason.
It's still the Swinton, of course she is.
Yeah, no, but like that Ambrosius is some sort of like leader of the sea.
Yeah.
And they're like, he did what? And that's why it's justice for Ambrosius.
I'd forgotten how hilariously dramatic Ambrosius's death was. Where just when she thinks she's dead, she goes...
It was like, oh, this joke's going on for too long. It's not funny anymore. And then it goes full circle to back being funny again.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait, no, it's funny again.
Yeah.
It's like Wilsiak. It was always funny.
So Homelander's ending was perfect. Deep's ending was perfect.
And
another ending that I thought was perfect, if much sadder.
I loved Sage's.
Oh, Sage's ending was kind of fun,
I was so unbelievably happy for Sage. I was like, because that's all she's ever wanted, is to not be smart. Because she spent so much of her time.
I don't know that we should be happy for Sage, considering she was ready to like end the whole planet just so she could have a bit of peace and quiet.
No.
But that said, I did like her ending as well.
Yeah. What's up, bitches? I wouldn't be going there. Not for me. Yeah. Not exactly a fan of Joanne.
If she does get picked up and sent to prison, at least what she can do is cause more problems in prison and get herself put in solitary.
Yeah.
And then she'll get what she wants.
Well, I don't think she'll mind at this point.
But you also got
she just wants to hang out and watch Love Island.
True. You also got to respect the dedication to that goal of wanting to just have time on your own. So she was willing to go that far.
Most of us just move to the middle of nowhere.
But
and reduce our social circle drastically.
No, the other ending that I would say, just saying there, that I was really happy with was A-Train.
Yeah. I'm sad he died. I kind of wanted him, like, if he died season 3, would have been happy out.
Well, we said that at the time.
Yeah.
But now I'm happy that
kind of didn't want him to die now, but it did give us that Homelander talking to the coffin bit.
That was, I loved it.
Hilarious.
I
also the fact
thing.
that he laughing at him.
I don't think A-Train was ever going to survive.
No.
But he was going to be always one of the ones up for the chopping block.
Yeah.
But how they gave us that death was excellent. Yeah, just him laughing at him.
Yeah.
And hinting at what was going to be his ultimate end. You know, you take those powers away, what are you? You're nothing.
You're an empty shell in a suit.
Yeah, you're nothing.
And that's exactly what he is.
Yeah, and that's what Butcher says to him. Butcher says you're nothing. Uh-huh.
He learned to watch where he was going.
Yes, like that, the avoiding the girl.
Yeah.
Realising that he was afraid of Homelander and he needed to stand up to him.
Yeah, just being like, what was I even afraid of? Like, and that's the thing is, bullies operate off fear. And when you don't fear them, what's the point? It's kind of like, are you laughing at me because of the size of the vehicle?
This is the largest vehicle I can afford on my pay.
Hey, everybody, the kid that laughs everybody.
Let's all point and laugh at him. It was A-Train's journey from season 1 to season 5.
I enjoyed
we talked
A-Train.
briefly about it already. But yeah, that was
he
definitely
was
one of the highlights.
I fucking hated him in season 1. I really did. I didn't like the way he was treating Popclaw. Like, I know Popclaw I felt so sorry for. I really did.
Yeah.
She's so fucking tragic, that poor thing.
But
and like season 2, when they all start to turn on him, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
They don't like you either.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. So you're not even in the circle, and all you're like, because when you see him like in the nightclub and stuff like that, even though it's day club,
it's just hangers on.
Yeah, it's his entourage, and they all disappear.
So
especially when he breaks his leg, there's nobody around him.
Yeah, his journey from season 1 to season 5, loved it, but particularly, I know he was only in a small bit of this season, but it was a great ending for him. Another highlight for me was the fact that MM didn't end.
Yes, MM surviving.
He got to go back with his family. He got a new family member.
He got to blow up a father's head.
Yeah, he didn't get killed with a grenade to the chest like he did in the comics.
He got a full panel of everything tested for, because the amount of bodily fluids.
Yeah.
Like, because he had, MM's had Rainer's head.
Oh, he's been covered in quite a lot.
But Rowan Rope!
With him it's normally bodily fluids rather than blood.
Oh, no, Web Weaver.
Lick it up, you big, beautiful brown bear.
No, I'm sorry, Web Weaver.
Yeah.
When he gets the right on the face.
But with that last kill of O'Father as well, Huey still gets another one kind of final splatter of blood.
Because it wouldn't be a season of The Boys if Huey wasn't covered in blood.
Yeah, and
because even the minifigs that you can get of them, a lot of the outcome of them, like with the rotatable head, so you have the two faces.
Yeah,
and it's always clean Huey and blood covered Huey. Same with the Homelander heads, actually.
There's a happy one and an angry one.
No, there's one covered in blood.
Oh, yeah. Actually, when Huey gets covered in our father's blood, he even tells us what his ending is going to be, because that's when he says, I seriously need a new job.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That's why he ends up going and setting up his...
Just some normality. Something... I know this. I know electronics.
Huey and Annie's ending was happy, but, like, they survived in the comics. I kind of felt like they were going to survive because they were our main
you
couple.
couldn't really kill them off.
That would have been an absolute gut punch if you had killed either of them, but I don't think they were ever going
they'd
to.
already taken out Hugh Sr.
So,
they couldn't, like...
The happy endings that we got were good, but MM's was the one I was most happy with because he didn't die.
Yeah. I like how there was no mention of Daphne in the final episode. Because, like, you know, she's like, I was on the phone with my mom, she's mad, they're pissed off, and I've been like, well, my mom is
there wasn't
just happy. Like, because that would have been the perfect moment to have an introduction of, like, well...
Yeah, because I saw a couple of people...
happy that, you know, we're alive, you know? Because she had gone into hiding, so it'd been like, well, Mom's glad she can, like, get back to her house or whatever. Or obviously not selling her Vitality fucking...
her Vitality makeup anymore,
yeah.
Ryan's ending was another one that I was quite happy with because he stands up for himself.
Yes.
And
he advocates for himself. He makes his own choices.
But despite everything that went down with Homelander and with Butcher, he still ends up being the boy that Becca wanted him to grow up to be. And that he wasn't like Homelander. And that he chooses...
to a degree
But that he chooses himself. Yeah. So that was nice. Plus, just as well, that moment at the end of the...
You little shit!
No, when Homelander comes to see him. Yeah. And he gives him his impassioned speech about, you know, you are me. Yeah. You know? And you see that look of kind of fear on Ryan's face of like... I don't want to be you. And then he goes, Dad. And we're like, oh no. And he says, get fucked. And I was like, yeah. Then gives him the reams of abuse that he gives him, saying that, you know, he's just this insecure little...
Yeah, you have all this power now and you're miserable.
Yeah,
like,
you're not going to be any better with more.
And nobody is harsher than a teenager. If Ryan had been a teenage daughter, that would have been vicious.
Yeah.
Like, cut to shreds, reduced to crying on the floor. Like...
Another survival I was happy with. Legend.
Yeah, you can't kill the legend.
Yeah.
You can't kill the legend.
No, that was great. Just that he gives it straight to Homelander, and that's the reason that he gets to survive.
Oh, you know he's gone straight to Stan, and he's like, give me all my shit back.
Well, I'd imagine, his assets were going to be unfrozen anyway.
Yeah, I want my brainstem back. Give me all my fucking shit back. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing the Legend and Soulja Boy in the future.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's depending on what happens with Vought.
I kind of want a ridiculous 1950s style sitcom set in the nursing home with the Legend.
Well, he can't go to that nursing home because it's for soups, and he's not a soup.
Yeah, but he can visit.
He can visit. They don't seem to like him.
Some sort of like, yay, you know, like the hey guys, and there's a round of applause.
But depending on where they go with the Boys Mexico thing.
Yeah.
We could get him showing up there.
No, I love the Legend. Paul Reiser's great. He just bubbler.
Yeah.
I love that type of character.
No, he was great.
I don't
kiss and tell. That's all you do.
That's literally all you have ever done. And his phraseology for things, like, I once dined, it's like when she's like golden gay, she told me to eat her golden ass, and he's like, I dined at that particular establishment and the service was exquisite.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like, you are being complimentary, but like, still.
Using words for sexual innuendo that clearly aren't, but just because of the way he says them, they come across as sexual innuendo.
Nah, he's great.
He was great. And I was very happy that he survived.
And he gave Homelander some, like, home truths.
Yes, he did. He did. Another big highlight for me as well was the one-shots episode.
Yeah, really enjoyed
that one.
I really liked one shots.
Particularly, we talked about it a bit already, but that ending...
Very sad to see... Oh, she didn't... Oof.
No, not Firecracker, sorry. The ending as in, sorry, the last of the one-shots, the Soulja Boy one going to LA and all the stuff that goes down in Marathon Man's mansion.
Yeah.
Just so funny. All of that was so funny. Proper boysy boys stuff. Like, I really, really enjoyed that. One-shots as a whole, but that last one-shot...
I was like, when I was thinking about that, I was like, why would a guy who's a speedster not have such a little narrow cramped house, like full of little rooms and corridors? Well, that seemed like, especially when he can't steer that well.
Because I don't think he intends on using his super speed running around his own house.
But he runs to Bogota.
Yeah, that's outside his house. Like, inside his own house, he's not obviously intending to use super speed, because if he was, then he wouldn't have run through all his friends like he did.
No.
That was brilliant. That was just so funny.
No, we did need a big chunk of gore.
Yeah, and that was the bit of gore and funniness that hit the hardest and hit the best in the season, especially
chaos.
after the saying that the rock hard stuff and the dialogue in that episode.
Rock hard really didn't.
I didn't think that was funny at all. And Jetstreak going on about the line about, "Hey, you're the Dookie. Did you get it?" It was like just whereas all the dialogue in that episode,
I enjoyed when him and She-Line were doing the collar and the promo.
Yes,
like that I enjoyed. I like She-Line being like, "I see," and then looking and like pawing at the can.
Yeah,
I just wanted more She-Line. I wanted her doing dumb, stupid shit like cat shit like that.
I'm glad she's the one member of the Teenage Kicks that survived.
Oh, just
the longest.
for that like
but she was a better character than Jetstreak.
Yeah, like I actually really enjoyed. I was like, can we have more of her? I like her because she's Catwoman, but more on the cat side.
I think we got enough of her.
Yeah,
we got enough of Cindy. Like we got enough.
I really enjoyed Cindy.
Cindy's backstory was great as well.
That fucking delivery cracked me up. Yeah, it really did.
And Homelander asked you.
That pullback as well, like, yes, well done. I love that.
Well, just
much.
rolling. The fact that he's driving a Tesla and listening to Limp Bizkit.
No, it is a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
It was like, of course he drives a Cybertruck. You know that smells like Axe body spray. It smells like South Africa.
Vibro Mango Thunder.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Disappear into fragrance.
Any other highlights for you that we haven't discussed already?
Nice to see Stan. I liked Stan and MM's whole conversation about MM's dad.
Yes, that was great.
Really enjoyed that.
Making the Harvard lawyers work overtime.
But also it's vindication for that, his dad, because he's always been like, my dad fought his whole life for nothing. It's like, no, here's...
Well, it kind of is vindication, but then it's immediately undercut by Stan being like, but he didn't win.
But this is why he's not... But it's also like, he might have been trying to take down Vought, but he'll never take down corporations.
Yeah, he won the battle, but not the war.
Yeah. And they're going being like, right, fine, I'm just going to put a bullet in your skull instead.
We better get to see that in one of the future series.
You know Stan has got on every single watch list going.
He probably does. And
he's going to be alerted if is anywhere near New York. I think he's given up. Like, he knows he's not going to win.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's given up. He's done what Mallory said he should do in season 2 or 3. Just go. Just go. You know, I'll get you tickets for you and your family to get the fuck out of here. Just go and be with your family. The fight never ends. You just stop fighting. Yeah. And I think, he's just stopped fighting. But I kind of wish his last act before he stopped fighting was to put the bullet in Stan's head. Because, Vought surviving... I understand why it happens in the comics, and it is what Stan said.
The logistics of deconstructing something that massive.
Well, also Stan said it's not just Vought. Yeah. It's capitalism at large, you know, it's corporations must always grow.
There's a board and shareholders and things like that. It's not like it's a privately owned single company where if you take them out, the company can be dissolved. Like they're into everything, and we do see Singer say massive umbrella corporations and stuff like that as well. Like it is.
But we do see Singer say at the end of the episode to Huey that like Vought's a shit show and we need to like get a handle on them.
We can get parts of, and they know as well. Like I'd say. I still think Stan would be working with them to round up some. They're not going to be protecting the soups anymore.
No,
because
they're
he wants
not.
to return to being just a
pharmaceutical company. But that doesn't make Vought any less evil of a company because they've ditched their most evil product or most harm-causing product. But I think I just would have liked personally to have seen a little bit more of an anti-capitalist stint at the end of the series. Yeah. But Stan, that moment between Stan and that was great. That was.
I've had like just him being like, I remember your dad.
Yeah.
One lawyer from Harlem.
Yeah, one small-time lawyer from Harlem had...
them working weekends.
Yeah, Harvard and Ivy League lawyers working weekends and holidays. Yeah, that was great.
But he could never win.
Yeah.
It's the way he says it and it's so matter-of-fact. I really enjoyed Stan. I liked the fact that we got a bit of him in season 2 of Gen V. Yeah. And then we get more of him in this.
I'm kind of glad he survived just because depending on where the franchise goes, there's the chance to bring Stan back because he is such a good character. But anti-capitalism. But I think for that more or less covers a lot of the highlights for me that we've talked just there and then earlier on in the episode. I did really enjoy the season. I know we spent a lot of time bitching there, but...
No, I did. I preferred it over, say, I think season 3. Season 3 I had huge problems with, but that was just mainly because they hyped up. I learnt my lesson from that to stay away from all the trailers. I watched one trailer and that was it. I think you actually watched the trailer and were like, there's nothing major in it.
I watched the trailer for season 4.
Yeah, because I got
season 5.
Because the trailer for season 3 got me so hyped for Soulja Boy that I spent half the season being like, where the fuck is Soulja Boy?
Yeah.
What are they going to do with Soulja Boy?
We talked about it
Soulja Boy's
at the
such
time.
a fucking wimpy shit ass dickhead. Like he lets Homelander fuck him in the comic books.
Yeah.
To get on the 7 and then he doesn't even get on the fucking 7.
And
it's great.
We talked about it in the season 3 wrap that it just
and then being mad at Lil Nina as well.
If they had said that Soulja Boy was only going to be in like the flashbacks in the past, they could have thrown him in there, and then they would have had that surprise when he shows up in in episode 4.
Yeah,
but we knew from episode 1
that because they showed him in the tube. Yeah. Stop doing that in trailers. Stop putting the big reveals and shit in trailers.
They did it
care
a little bit in this season with the V1. Not so much that it was like overly teased in the trailer. But we know early on in the season that V1's going to be a big thing, and then they spend like 4 episodes chasing it. Yeah. And then when they do get it, it doesn't seem to make any difference beyond.
That's always, I think, going to be my biggest gripe, is that there was no demonstration of...
Yeah, show us what it did to him.
Of V1 powers. Like, because there's not even like them trying to take him out with like weaponry. Because I would have always assumed that Butcher at the end of the day is going to butcher and rock up with like a rocket launcher or something and
like first. We see them go to do at the end of season 2.
Yeah. Shoot the fucker with a rocket launcher to at least startle him. Instead, because you don't know what's happened.
He chokes Soulja Boy out pretty quickly when he's got the V1, but that's... Like,
but if you get the drop on somebody, you can choke him out fairly fast.
He was already supposed to be in and around the same level as Soulja Boy.
Yeah,
that's
like he's afraid, and that's it. He's afraid of Soulja Boy. That's why he had to jump him,
and that's why they needed Soulja Boy in season 3.
Yeah, because Soulja Boy was going to be strong enough to take him on.
But yeah, there should have been a slightly better explanation of what V1 had done to Homelander. Plus, if the whole thing was this is upping the stakes, show us how it's up the stakes.
Yeah.
We've slipped back into bitching.
Okay.
But yeah, no, for me...
I need to watch... I'm very much looking forward now to going and watching it from season 1 the whole way through.
I actually think...
I'm basically just going to sit there and drill all over Anthony Starr.
I actually think for me, season 4 is the weakest.
Season 4 felt very draggy, like...
I think it's just...
It was too close to what was actually going on in the real world.
Well, the show has always...
it stopped being satirical.
No, wasn't
it? It had gone back to being kind of ridiculously satirical for this season. It's not their fault that the current administration is also ridiculous.
The show has always been satirical, and the show has always like tried to reflect what's going on in the real world. Yeah. I just felt that in season 4 in particular, and a good bit in season 5, it was just that bit more on the nose compared to the earlier seasons.
Yeah, like there was stuff that you had to explain to me because I was like, I'd given up, and I was like, I'm not keeping up with current events at the moment because I can't. My brain's going to die. So you were like, oh yeah, well
the biggest standout one was the Pizzagate thing, where that was literally we're just doing the Pizzagate thing. It didn't add anything to it, and it just felt like, hey, look, we're doing this thing that happened in the real world. And that's what I mean by it being way more on the nose.
Yeah.
So I think for me...
Because if they had kept it as just the ramping up of like the propaganda through
like
media,
we saw in season 2
through all of that. Yeah, the way that they were doing it, which is, the 10-step guide to becoming a dictatorship.
Yeah.
If they had just kind of followed that playbook and ramped it up in that way, like that's the kind of the thing I really enjoyed about a lot of The Handmaid's Tale was all the flashbacks and how Gilead became Gilead and how they did it very insidiously and all this message boarding and stuff like that. Show us that.
Yeah.
Show us them subtly instead of sledgehammering the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I think the on-the-noseness was what bothered me the most about season 4 and season 5.
I felt like season 4 was very disconnected from like season 3 as well.
I think we might have said it a little bit in the wrap.
I think the time jump and it wasn't like satisfactory.
Well, it kind of felt a little bit like season 4 was spinning its wheels to get us to season 5.
Yeah.
And had we thought what was going to happen initially, we thought one of our first predictions, Homelander dies in season 4 and season 5 is Butcher being the villain, but we got what we got.
Yeah.
But overall, the whole 5-season run, still really enjoyed the show. Yeah. Like, I loved the comics. I was really excited for the show when it came out, and they kept my excitement the whole way throughout the 5-season run. I had some problems, but nothing's going to be perfect.
Is there any soup from the comic that you wish had shown up, even just as a brief in the background?
I was kind of annoyed. He did show up, but I was kind of annoyed that we didn't get Love Sausage.
Proper?
Not necessarily.
Adorable comrade Love Sausage and the face on the pizza. Like in Russia with...
Yeah, well, not even necessarily
because he was he's not a villain.
Yeah, that
he was a good guy.
Yeah, I like him being the only
also,
good soup.
I loved his outfit because it reminds me so much of Clobberella.
Yes, and he's got a cool little relationship with Huey.
Yeah,
I know we did get more good soups in the show than we got in the comics. But other than that, no, I don't think there's anybody that I was really disappointed.
We did see Jack from Jupiter. I'm kind of mad. We got the line, but we never got to see her. She-Hulk.
No, come on my hump.
Come on my hump. We got the line in Herogasm, you hear it.
Yeah.
But we never got to see her. Because I don't know what it was about She-Hulk. She always made me laugh whenever she shows up.
We got Malchemical.
We didn't get Blarney Cock.
No Blarney Cock. That would have been kind of funny.
We did get the moment in the soup, but it was Web Weaver.
It was Web Weaver, yeah.
No Blarney Cock. We got Touch Teenage Kicks.
Yeah, no, I think they... Like we've said, it's something that we've said all along.
They left out the right ones as well because nobody needed to see the little kicks.
Oh, G-Wiz.
Nobody needed to see G-Wiz.
Or Super Duper. No.
There was no way.
Something we've long said is that they've stayed true to the spirit of the comics but made it their own thing. And I still love the comics and I still love the show.
And I'm going to watch everything else that comes out from it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Vought Rising. That is one thing that I noticed as the seasons went on. We did more bitching in the raps.
Yeah.
Season 1 and 2, there was very little bitching to be done. I think
as they started to move away from the comic book storyline, we were like, "Hey, no, do this."
Well, no, it wasn't even that they moved away from the comic book storyline. I think it was that it became a bigger, more public thing.
Yeah.
In season 1 and 2, it's espionage and they're the underdogs and nobody in the wider public knows what's going on.
But once
it becomes more public and Annie, does her speech after Herogasm, and then it becomes Starlighters and Homelanders. That, I think, is why I prefer the earlier seasons.
Yeah.
But as I said, still love the whole thing and still very much enjoyed season 5 and will still absolutely watch anything that they give us. But I think that covers it for the season 5 wrap.
Yeah.
As ever, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us for all of the episodes across all of the rants that we've done. Yeah, 7. Well, we haven't been doing it for 7 years. We've been doing it for 5. We've done all 5 seasons of The Boys and Gen V and VNN and Diabolical. And thank you for listening to it all. Thank you for everybody who's come on and talked with us. Anna, Elsie, Joe, Lynn coming on and talking superhero psychology. And, of course, Derek Robertson. Always going to be thankful for Derek coming on. And most of all, to all of you listeners, because we wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't people to listen to it. So, guys, look, thank you so much. And we will be back with Vought Rising. I don't know if anybody else wants to come and do a random guest. We might be back between now and Vought Rising, but certainly we're going to be back for Vought Rising. However, in the meantime, if you want, you can head back and listen to all of those previous episodes I've just discussed, or our other podcasts, MonoRants at the Movies, where we talk some of our favourite movies, occasionally superhero ones, and Death Rants and Metalocalypse podcast, where we talk about our favourite death metal animated cartoon. Until the next time, thank you very much. You can find us on Twitter at rantsmono, on BlueSky at monorants, on Instagram at monorants_the_boys, or you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll see you sometime. Bye bye.